we are going to look at functions. Let's start with the warm-up. Find the domain and range of the following graph. So domain is all possible x values. So let's write this down. So domain is x values, range is all possible y values. So if we look at the domain first, it starts at 1 and it's an open circle. So it has to be everything greater than 1, but the maximum is 1, 2, 3. So 1 x is greater than 1, but it can be less than or equal to 3. So the open dot, it can't equal it, and so we don't put the equal sign. The range is all possible y values, and it goes, let's change colors here, this way right here. So it starts at 0, but since it's an open dot, it can't equal 0. It's the y values, and the highest it can equal is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we say y is between 0 and 5. It can include 5, but it can't be 0. In class, we're going to watch a video about Sneetches. If you want to watch it, here is the address. But we watch the video because a function is like a star-bellied machine, because for every Sneetch that went in, only one came out. So what is a function? A function is for every input or x value, there's only one output or y value. So if we take a look at the first example, we have someone's age in years and their height. And if you notice at 3, according to the graph, they're just one height. At 2, they're just one height. At 1, they're just one height, and so on. So an easy way to tell if a graph is a function is called the vertical line test. A visual way to see if a graph is a function is to think about drawing a vertical line. And that vertical line stands for an x value. If the vertical line meets your graph only once, it means that that x value only has one answer, or one y value. So let's take a look at this linear equation right here. Is it a function? Well, if we drop a vertical line anywhere, so for example, if x is 1, or negative, or let's do 1. Here's where x is 1, there's only one answer. When x is 4, there's only one answer. When x is 6, there's only one answer. When x is negative 3, there's only one answer. So this passes the vertical line test, which means that for every x value, for every vertical line, there's only one answer. It only meets your graph once. Take a look at B. Now B, if we look at 0, there's only like one answer here. But if I draw a line at 1, 2, for example, there's two answers. If it's a circle, so this is not a function. This is a function, a line is a function, but the circle is not a function because it doesn't pass the vertical line test. For a few of these x values, there's two answers. And again, a function is for every x value, there's only one y value. So if we go back to the graph here, for age, for every age, there's only one height associated with that on the graph. It would pass the vertical line test. All right, let's try C. C is called an upside-down parabola, upside-down U-shaped graph. And does it pass the vertical line test? So if we drop a bunch of vertical lines, I'll use my line tool here. I'll just use that. Okay, so if I draw like at 4 there's only one answer. At 2, there's only one answer. At 0, there's only one answer. At right here, if I draw this vertical line, there's only one answer. So this upside down parabola is a function because it passes the vertical line test. Take a look at this funny looking function that's S-shaped, and we can see that for some values, like at negative 1, there's only one answer. At 0, there's only one answer. But if I go to like 2, at 2, there's 3 answers here, and so this would not be a function. So in a graph, if you can drop a vertical line anywhere on the graph and it only meets it once, it's a function. Now, how about in a table? How can you tell something's a function in a table? Well, take a look at the domain or the x values. Does every x value only have one y value? And so this first one is a function. And this is the y value is the range. Because every x value only has one answer. The second one is not a function because for the number 1 has two answers. So it's not a function. Let's take a look at it in like a horizontal table here. And you're looking for, does every x value only have one answer? So here, -3, I only see once, and it has one answer. -2, I only see once, and it has one answer. 6, I only see once, it has one answer. It has the same answer as -3 and 7, but it would pass the vertical line test if I were to graph this. -3, 1, -2, 3, 6, 1, and 7, 1. This would pass the vertical line test, so each of these dots would only have one answer. So yes, this is a function. But if you take a look at the next table right here, I see 5 twice. And that's okay to see 5 twice, but every time I see 5, I should see the same answer. And here I get 5 and then 2, and 5 and then 1. If we were to graph that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, here's 5, 1, here's 5, 2. And you could see that that would not pass the vertical line test. There would be 2 answers on that vertical line. So this one is not a function. So again, the definition of a function is for every x value, you should only get one y value. And so this one, since we see 5 twice, and I don't have the same answer, it's not a function. Okay, so in class today, our assignment looks like this. Let me pull it up. So for each of these, state the domain and range and say if it's a function. Okay, so let's do number 1 together. So number 1, the domain is all possible x values. So from here to here, it's closed dot. So it's at -1 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the x value, and it can equal -1 to 6. So x is between -1 to 6. The range is the y values. So here's the lowest y value. Here's the highest y value. So it goes from -1 to 1, 2, 1, 2, looks like 2, and it's the y values, and since it's a closed dot, it can equal y. So y goes from -1 to 2, and does it pass the vertical line test? Yes. So yes, it's a function. All right, so you're going to be doing that for all these problems, domain and range, and yes, it's a function, or no, it's not.